Our top story this morning, the United Nations Security Council has imposed tough new sanctions on North Korea, almost 3 months after the regime conducted its 5th nuclear test. The measures aim to close the loopholes of earlier resolutions, especially by cutting Pyongyang's access to foreign currency that is funneled into its weapons programs. Our Foreign Affairs correspondent Kwon Soa starts us off.
The UN Security Council's 15 members unanimously voted in favor for the adoption of Resolution 2321 to punish the North Korean regime for its violations against the international community.
Today's resolution includes the toughest and most comprehensive sanctions regime ever imposed by the Security Council.
Resolution 2321 took the longest time to draft, compared to the other UN sanctions imposed on North Korea for conducting nuclear tests since 2006. The new resolution focuses on cutting the regime's export earnings by at least $800 million annually, especially by capping its coal shipments by more than 60%. Diplomats and entities have been added on its blacklist, as well as further restrictions on the North's maritime and financial sectors, exports of helicopters, ships, and statues. For the first time, North Korea was also warned that its status as a UN member state could be under threat if it continues to flout its international obligations. However, as South Korea's ambassador to the UN said, there's still room at the table for Pyongyang if it changes its ways.
No country is an island. North Korea is not an island either. So they, for themselves, I think they should forego their nuclear program and come back to us for talks and for dialogue to settle this issue.
But until then, Washington's chief representative to the UN says the effective implementation of sanctions is everything.
All member states are obliged to enforce the sanctions contained in this resolution scrupulously and in the spirit of the resolution's intentions.
The South Korean government highly welcomed the resolution, with Seoul's foreign minister hinting that additional independent sanctions from South Korea, the US, Japan, and the EU are likely to follow. Kwon Soa, Arirang News.